say that enough is enough, and we refuse to take the crumbs. We refuse to be treated like this anymore. So when I leave this platform today, I'll go back to my union and talk to my colleagues in Nipsa about how we can coordinate mass action across our class to deliver for our members and our communities. So comrades, today we fight against a cost of living crisis, and tomorrow we need to fight for better standards for all of our communities, because I just want to say, when we take action, it's not just for workers for better pay, it is for everybody for better public services. And please support the strikes that are happening right across this week. The CWU, the UCU, and Nipsa is coming out. Unison, the RCA and the RCM, we will be out on the streets, and we need public support if we're going to win. Because if you fight, you can win, and we have no choice. So thank you, and solidarity.
We all need to get together, make noise, and let them know we're not going to lie down and let them walk over us. We have to keep going, and we're going to be here eventually, whether they like it or not. So all I can ask is, every time you hear one of these rallies, please turn up, bring as many friends and family as you can. The more we shout, the louder we squeak, the more we will be heard. Power to the people.
As Greta already says there, we've been out a total of 16 weeks all in, 13 weeks consecutively. I'm not a speaker here, I'm not a political party player on any of this here. I am a striking worker, just like the rest of these. And what you don't see behind me is 360 men who is out also in the executive with our colleagues here in Pennyburn, Coleraine, Portadown and Belfast. And we've all stood up and said no to pay cuts and for a better pay management is for us. And also what you don't see behind those men out is the countless tenants, the countless communities, families disrupted with all the strikes action that is currently going on. And it just shows you they do not care. They need to care about our communities. We work in all communities, either side of the divide. So as my message is just enough is enough is enough.
Thank you there. Support to the Housing Executive. The time is right. We achieved our pay offer with good negotiations between our local representatives and the management. There's austerity, poverty, deprivation. That's what this town has had for years. Enough is enough. Because every time you listen to the press, all you get out of them is, why are you striking? And they stupid. We're striking for better terms, conditions, better quality of life for us and our family. And if we don't stand up, who will? So we all stand together, united, and we will not be divided, and we will win our struggle. Thank you.
As Nelson Mandela quoted, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. How can we change the world if there's no investment? Our younger teachers are coming out of universities on £40,000 of debt. Schools are faced with the rise in utility bills, but yet the budget hasn't risen. How can we educate children in rooms that are not heated adequately? It is a case, do we heat or do we employ the needed classroom assistants and teachers? We're not asking, we're demanding investment in education.
And also, to be honest with you, and I said it before about the housing executive workers striking for our future, all of the people who are striking at the moment are striking for our futures, and we are striking for the futures of our students who are facing into a gig economy, into a situation where they'll never be sure that they'll be able to own their own house, where they'll never have a secure enough job to be able to plan, to have a family, all those kind of things. We're all striking for each other's futures, and especially for the futures of our young people. Because the reality is that if our governments had taken seriously what's going on with the planet, and had actually started to divest from fossil fuels, keep the fossil fuels in the ground, and instead invest in renewables, then we wouldn't be in the kind of heating crisis that we're in now, because renewables are free, unlike the fossil fuels. So again, if you look at all of the unions who are here today, we are all unions who demand an end to the dependence on fossil fuels that governments continue with. And the thing is that if we did that, then we'd all have warmers, homes, and not be worried about turning on the heat this winter.
Today I'm also proud to speak in front of you all. I'm representing Gaelic Community Centre. I'm representing Gaelic Residents Association and on-street community youth. On a daily basis, I and many others are seeing the brutal impact of austerity. We're also reminded that we must give a voice to those most in need. The time for change has come. The time to say enough is here. And as one, we must unite and stand together to demand better. Finally, I would like to send my solidarity to the nurses, the housing executive workers, lecturers, postal workers, teachers, and anyone taking industrial action for a fair wage. We will not allow anyone to deter us or turn us against each other. We will continue to highlight where there is wrong. Together we are stronger, and together we must demand better. Thank you.
There are other campaigns, there are movements, but the cause of the working class is bigger than any campaign, bigger than any group, bigger than any union, bigger than any political party, and that's what belongs to each one of us. It doesn't belong to any group or organisation. It belongs to you, it belongs to every one of these, it belongs to me, and it belongs to us equally. That's what real democracy is.
My job in the community is to empower working class women. But austerity, COVID and the cost of living mean that we're in constant crisis management helping people survive. If your basic needs aren't met, how can you be empowered? 75% of families in the north will be struggling to make ends meet by January, and I'd say the number's probably higher in Derry, as we all know. The community and voluntary sector are dealing with issues which should be the remit of statutory services, but huge waiting lists and lack of funding means people are being neglected. We're often their only safety net. We ran a free uniform scheme and a free winter coat scheme this year. Some political representatives praised this initiative. There is nothing to praise. It is shameful that we even need it. This normalisation of charity must stop. We shouldn't have clothes banks, food banks or warm banks.
Trade unions have the power to end rising energy costs, rising food costs, and the power to deliver a society in which we all have decent standards of living, whether in work or out of work, a society which the ruling class don't want. Young people, don't go through your lives without taking a stand against those who govern and decide in your interests, not ours, not your family's interests or your communities. We must together take a stand now against these people and their collaborators. I say to those local employers who choose to pay our young people $4.81 an hour for their labour, if you can't afford to pay a living wage and offer decent contracts of employment, then you simply can't afford to be in business. This is a cost of living crisis that is being fuelled by poverty pay, fuelled by greedy bosses and a rigged system who don't and won't share the wealth. We have a multi-millionaire business tycoon who has recently pitched his tent in the Fallside shopping centre, who chooses to deny our local young people decent pay, while he and other business owners like him see their personal wealth increase. Even in times of crisis they profit. You don't need to go to Westminster to see capitalist Tories in operation. Enough is enough. We have just witnessed a generation of people being cast aside. Good, decent, ordinary people being constantly manipulated and repeatedly lied to. The nurse, the classroom assistant, the community worker, the hotel worker, the cafe worker, the shop assistant, the sick, the disabled, the firefighter, the bus driver, the mother, the teacher, our children, our young people, the marginalised, ordinary decent people who deserve better. Pensions being stole, benefits being slashed, and retirement age for women increased. The rich tell us, we will do what we want to you. At a time when the establishment is attacking trade unions and social justice campaigners and attempting to criminalise dissent against poverty, we must find our voice and regain our collective power. Poverty has cast a shadow over too many people's lives for far too long. Young people, find your rightful place in the fight back. Join a trade union and let's find out who really holds the power.
We refuse to be treated like this anymore.